The war was supposed to be short. The treaty between the Zorkai Empire and the Human Federation had held for years. But then came the betrayal. The skies of Sector 9R turned red with fire. Fleets crashed into each other like angry stars. Soldiers, on both sides, were lost, many without even knowing why they were fighting. Among the chaos was a warrior named Teyra Lune, Zorkai elite. Trained from birth, feared on the battlefield, proud, loyal. She fought with twin plasma blades, never missed, never hesitated. But even the best warriors bleed, and on the rocky moons of Valhyrie Prime, she fell. Her unit had been ambushed. The humans had come in faster than expected. Her sister screamed over comms before they went silent. Teyra stood her ground. She took down 5 soldiers, but the 6th one had a railgun, and she didn't see it in time. The blast tore through her armor. She dropped to her knees. Blood oozed. From her side, her vision blurred. She knew death. She was trained for it. She smiled bitterly and closed her glowing eyes. "This is a good end," she whispered. And then, darkness, but death never came. Instead, warmth did. And light, soft white light. And something strange. A blanket? Teyra blinked, confused. The ceiling above her wasn't metal. It was smooth, white, clean. She turned her head slowly and saw a figure. At the far wall, a human, tall, wearing only a gray undershirt, holding a tray. He noticed she was awake and froze. "Oh, you're up," he said calmly. Teyra sat up fast, or tried to. Pain shot through her ribs. She hissed. The man rushed over. "Easy. You're still healing." She narrowed her eyes. "Why? Am I alive?" The man smiled gently. "You fell during the battle. I was clearing the area and found you barely breathing." "Then, why didn't you finish me?" She spat. He shrugged. "Didn't feel right." "I am your enemy." "Maybe," he said. "But you weren't holding a weapon anymore. You were bleeding out like anyone else." Teyra stared at him, not sure whether to feel insulted or honored. He placed the tray beside her. "Water, and some soft food. I don't know what you eat, so I guessed." She didn't touch it. "Are you going to torture me next?" she asked. He laughed. "No, this isn't a cell. It's my quarters. You're in my bed." She looked around, and the truth became clear. The space was small, personal. There was no lock on the door, no restraints on her hands, just pain, and a strange warmth. "My name's Corporal Jack Rains," he said. "I didn't ask." He smirked. "No, but if we're going to be roommates for a while, it seemed polite." She tilted her head. "No human has ever shown me mercy before." He shrugged. "Maybe I'm the first idiot." She lay back slowly, staring at the ceiling. Her body hurt. Her pride hurt more. But her heart was confused. In the hallway outside, 2 human officers spoke in whispers. "She's dangerous. She's also half dead. If Command finds out he brought her here without reporting, then we both deny it. Simple." Inside the room, Teyra closed her eyes again. But this time, it wasn't to die. It was to rest. For the first time, under the care of a human. Teyra Lune didn't trust humans. She never had. She was trained not to. They were unpredictable, emotional, soft but dangerous. And now, one of them had seen her at her weakest, dying and helpless in the dirt. She hated that. She hated needing help. She hated waking up in a warm bed more than dying on cold rock. It had been 2 days since she woke up. Her ribs still burned. Her leg was stiff, but her strength was slowly returning. The human, Jack Rains, checked on her often, never too close, never too far. He brought her meals. He changed her bandages. He didn't ask questions. He didn't touch her weapons, because she had none. On the 3rd morning, when Jack left to refill her water, Teyra moved. She swung her legs off the bed, bit her lip against the pain, and stood, wobbling, breathing, sharp. Every step felt like walking through knives, but she reached the storage locker on the far wall. Locked, Of course. But she wasn't just a warrior. She was a Zorkai scout. Her fingers felt along the side of the panel and, click, the door popped open. Inside, a folded uniform, a comm unit, a small energy knife. She took the knife. She was still a soldier, and no soldier lives in debt. She limped to the door and opened it slowly. Outside, the hall was quiet. No alarms. No guards. Too easy. She took a deep breath and moved. She didn't get far. Jack was standing right outside with the water jug in hand. They both froze. Her hand tightened on the knife. He didn't reach for a weapon. He didn't flinch. He just sighed. I was wondering when you'd try. Tara's voice was low. Step aside. Jack set the jug down slowly. You're still injured. I can still cut. He nodded. I believe you. But where will you go? She blinked. What? You're inside a human carrier ship orbiting neutral space. You have no comms, no allies. The war front moved 2 sectors east. She said nothing. You step outside that airlock and you'll die anyway. Tara's hand dropped just slightly. I do not belong here. Jack took a small step forward. I didn't bring you here because you belonged. I brought you because I didn't want to watch. You die like a broken thing. She looked down at the knife, then at him. Then, after a long breath, she dropped the weapon. It hit the floor with a soft metallic tap. I'm not your guest, she muttered. Jack half smiled. You're not my prisoner either. He picked up the knife and held it out to her. She stared at it. You're giving it back? He nodded. I don't want you to stay because you're stuck. I want you to stay because maybe not every human deserves your blade. She took the knife slowly, not to attack, just to hold. Her fingers trembled, not from weakness, but confusion. In her world, kindness always had a price, and she still didn't know what his was. Later that night, back in the room, she sat up in bed. As Jack handed her a warm drink, she didn't say thank you, but she drank it anyway. And when he left, she looked at the knife again and put it under her pillow, not in her hand. She was still a warrior, but now she wasn't sure what side she was fighting for anymore. The days passed quietly. Tara Loon's wounds were healing faster now. She could walk without pain. Her eyes were sharper. Her balance returned, but one thing hadn't changed. Her questions. Why was he helping her? Why risk his career, or even his life? What kind of soldier goes against orders to save the enemy? That morning, she found Jack outside the room, fixing something on the wall panel with old wires and tools. You fix things with your hands? She asked. He glanced at her. I'm a soldier, not a mechanic, but this ship is old and the tech crew's overworked. Tara tilted her head. Why not ask them for help? He gave a small grin. They already think I'm crazy for bringing you on board. I don't want to push my luck. She leaned against the wall, arms crossed. So you care about what others think? He shrugged. I care about staying off the radar. She noticed something then, his right hand. It trembled slightly when he reached into his toolbox. Your hand. What happened? Jack froze for a second, then sighed. Battle on Krylos 7. Took a hit to the shoulder. Nerve damage. You fought on Krylos? Her voice changed. That battle was brutal. He nodded once. Lost 3 friends in 20 minutes. Got stuck behind enemy lines. Had to carry my sergeant's body for 2 kilometers. That's how I got the tremor. Tara didn't speak for a moment. He kept working, but she saw the tightness in his jaw. You still dream about it? She asked softly. He paused. Yeah. She nodded. So do I. For the first time, she saw it. He wasn't just a human soldier. He was a survivor. Like her. Wounded in body. Wounded in memory. They weren't that different. That night, she sat beside him in the common area. They watched a small, flickering screen that played old Earth footage. Waterfalls, forests, clouds. I've never seen real water like that, she said. You don't have rain on your planet? Only acid storms. Our cities are underground. Water is recycled. No rivers, no oceans. He looked at her in surprise. No wonder you're so angry. She smirked. We were made hard by our world. He raised an eyebrow. You think humans aren't? She turned to him. You are. But your kindness is still strange. He looked away, then said quietly, kindness isn't weakness. Some of us believe in saving what we can. She studied his face. You didn't just save me because I was injured. No, he admitted. I saved you because I was tired of watching people die for no reason. She nodded slowly, not because she understood, but because she was starting to. Back in her room, she stared at her reflection in the small mirror. Scars, not just from this war, from years before it, from training, from punishment, from pride, and, now, a strange softness had appeared in her eyes. Was that weakness, or something else? She turned to the small desk near the bed. There, placed carefully, was a folded cloth. Human fabric. Clean. Simple. She picked it up. A note was left underneath, written in his uneven handwriting. You don't have to fight alone anymore. Her hands trembled, but not from pain. The knife under her pillow stayed there that night, untouched. For the first time since she was a child, she slept with open hands, not closed fists. Tara felt stronger now. She could walk without limping. Her wounds had healed into fresh scars. The pain was fading, but the tension wasn't. Not in the air, not on the ship, and definitely not in the eyes of the crew. They stared at her as she passed, some with fear, some with hate, a few with quiet curiosity. She didn't blame them. She was an alien soldier walking freely inside a human warship. That wasn't just strange. It was dangerous. Jack tried to pretend everything was normal. He joked with the medics. He helped with cargo. He played cards with the engineers. But even Tara could tell he was watching every hallway, every door, waiting. For what, she wasn't sure. Until the confrontation came. It happened in the mess hall. Tara had just sat down with her food tray, something Jack convinced the cook to make edible for her species, when a voice growled across the room. She doesn't belong here. Tara looked up slowly. A tall human soldier was standing near the entrance, arms crossed. His armor was dusty, face sharp, eyes filled with rage. Get up, he said. Now. Jack stood quickly. Sergeant Merrick, back off. She's a killer. Merrick snapped. She murdered my squad on Vexor 2. Tara met his gaze. I don't remember names, only numbers. That didn't help. Merrick stormed forward and slammed his hand on the table. She should be in chains. She's healing, Jack said, stepping between them. She's the enemy. She's a soldier, like you, like me. No, Merrick growled. She's a monster. Tara stood slowly, her hand moving near her hip. She didn't have a weapon. She didn't need one. But before the fight could explode, she said clearly, he saved my life. Everyone in the room froze. I was bleeding out in the mud. Your kind left me to die. He didn't. He gave me water. He gave me food. He gave me respect. Jack glanced at her in surprise. Tara continued, I owe him more than I owe my command. So if you raise a hand to him again, she stepped forward, you'll find out how little my scars have slowed me down. Merrick stared at her. Then at Jack. Then at the silent room. No one moved. No one supported him. And finally, he turned and stormed out. Jack sat down slowly, heart still racing. Thanks, he muttered. Tara picked up her food again. I didn't do it for you, she said. I did it because it's mine now too, this fight. He smiled slightly. You're terrible at lying. She said nothing, but her eyes softened. That night, they sat on the edge of the observation deck, watching. The stars passed by. Tara spoke first. Where I come from, we believe only those who protect you in your lowest moment are worth following. Jack looked at her. And? She looked away. You earned something today. Not my trust, not yet. But a part of my respect. He nodded. I'll take that. Then, after a pause, she added, I will fight beside you now, not behind, not against. Beside. Somewhere deep in the ship, alarms briefly blinked. New orders were coming. A new battle was rising. And this time, they would face it together. The orders came in quietly. A recon team was needed on Corrales 9, a storm-covered moon filled with enemy signals and unknown structures. Jack didn't expect to be picked, and he definitely didn't expect this. You'll take the alien with you, the officer said flatly. Jack raised an eyebrow. Tara? She's proven herself, and she knows how to move in rough terrain better than most of our squad. Use her. Jack didn't argue, but he worried. That night, in the equipment room, Tara suited up silently. Her new armor was human-made but adjusted to fit her alien frame. It felt strange. Lighter, more flexible, but she moved with the same grace. Jack watched her strap on her gear. You sure about this? He asked. She didn't look at him. I've survived worse than a scouting mission. He smiled. That's not what I meant. She turned. I know what you meant. They landed on Corrales 9 in the dark. Wind howled across the rocks. Lightning cracked through the thick blue clouds above. Tara moved like a shadow, her senses alert. Jack followed behind, scanning with a handheld reader. There, she pointed. Energy signature, 10 meters. They crept forward. Then, boom. An explosion erupted nearby. The ground shook. A drone had triggered a mine. Jack was thrown back, crashing into the mud. His leg was bleeding. His weapon was gone. He tried to stand, but pain flared through his knee. Footsteps. Enemy. Scouts. 4 of them, armed, fast. Too fast. Jack reached for his sidearm too late. But then, a blur of movement, a hiss of steel. Tara leapt between him and the enemies, blades spinning. She struck the first scout in the throat, spun, blocked the second, slashed the third across the arm. The fourth raised a rifle. Tara kicked it out of his hands and drove her elbow into his chest. All 4 fell in seconds. Breathing hard, she turned to Jack. He was staring. Remind me never to doubt you, he muttered. She pulled him to his feet. I warned you, she said. My scars haven't slowed me down. They limped to a nearby ridge and hunkered down under a rocky outcrop. Rain poured around them. Jack checked his comms. Still no signal. We're stuck for the night. Tara crouched beside him, eyes on the storm. Jack looked over. You didn't have to do that. Risk yourself. She glanced at him. You gave me back my life. I just returned the favor. He chuckled. So we're even now? She didn't answer. Instead, she said, when I fought for my people, I followed orders. I didn't care who I killed. It was just survival. Jack nodded. And now? She looked into the storm. Now I fight for someone who gave me a choice. Later, as they huddled under a thermal tarp to stay warm, Jack noticed she had drifted closer. Her head rested against his shoulder, eyes half closed. I thought your kind didn't touch humans, he teased softly. She replied without opening her eyes. I still don't. He smiled, but neither of them moved away. Out in the dark, the enemy still hunted, but inside that small shelter on a stormy moon, the line between alien and human had already been crossed. The storm passed by morning. Corrales 9 was quiet again, but it was the kind of quiet that warned of something worse coming. Jack and Tara moved fast through the rocks, heading toward the evac point. Jack's limp was slowing them, though he didn't complain. Tara could feel something in the air, not weather, something personal. As they reached a broken comm tower, a sound echoed through the hills. Tara Lun. Jack stopped. Tara's body went still. She knew that voice. She turned slowly toward the ridge. A figure stood there in gleaming Zorkai battle armor, taller, broader, and wearing the sigil of high command. Commander Vexon, her old mentor. Her executioner, if he knew the truth. I thought you were dead, he called down. I watched the blast hit you. We honored your memory. Tara didn't answer. Jack whispered, "Friend of yours?" She shook her head. Worse. Vexon started walking down the ridge toward them. I see now, you didn't die. You survived and you're standing beside a human. His voice was colder now. Is that how low you've fallen, Terraloon? Sharing warmth with the enemy? Jack stepped forward. You should leave. Vexon laughed. And you should be dead. But I'll fix that now. He drew his plasma blade. Tara stepped between them. Don't, she said quietly. You're defending him? He saved my life. He tainted it. No, she said. He reminded me what honor actually means. Vexon snarled. You are Zorkai. You owe your loyalty to the blood code. I bled. I obeyed. And when I was dying, you left me. Her voice shook. He didn't. Vexon raised his weapon. Then you die with him. He charged. Jack reached for his rifle, but Tara moved faster. Their blades clashed like lightning. She ducked, spun, struck, then blocked a crushing blow from above. Vexon was stronger, but Tara was faster, smarter. And more than that, she had something to fight for now. Not just orders, not just survival, but someone. She caught him with a strike to the ribs and sent him crashing into a stone. While panting, bruised, she walked toward him. He raised his blade again, weakly. You were the future of our kind, he spat. And now you're just a traitor. No, she said coldly. I'm still a warrior. She struck his blade aside, pulled her dagger and held it at his throat. But I fight for those who don't leave others behind. She didn't kill him. She let him crawl away. Because mercy was the lesson she had learned from Jack. Back at the evac point, as the ship arrived and they boarded, Jack looked at her carefully. You didn't have to fight him. You could have let me take the hit. Tara shook her head. You don't understand, she said softly. I chose you. Jack looked away for a moment, then back at her. You sure about that? She gave a small smile. Yes. High above, the ship rose into the stars, and in the shadows of her people, Tara had made a choice. She wasn't just recovering anymore. She was changing. The ship docked at a quiet orbital station days later. No welcome party. No medals, just cold air, metal corridors, and hushed whispers from officers who didn't understand why a Zorkai warrior walked beside a human soldier like an equal. Tara didn't care anymore. She'd stopped trying to explain. She had made her choice. But choices have consequences. When they entered the debrief room, command was already waiting. 3 high-ranking officers, no smiles, no greetings, only judgment in their eyes. Jack saluted. Recon complete. Target zone cleared. 2. Enemy scouts neutralized. And the alien? One officer asked sharply. Jack's mouth tightened. She saved my life. She's the reason you were on that moon to begin with. Tara stepped forward. He didn't bring me as a hostage. I volunteered. The officers stared at her, like she was a loaded weapon. One leaned forward. You've seen our systems, our codes, our maps. Yes, she said calmly. Then you're a threat. Jack snapped. She had a dozen chances to kill me. She never did. She protected me. She was trained to deceive. Tara's voice cut through the room. I was trained to obey. But I nearly died for it. I owe no loyalty to leaders who abandon their own. The room fell silent. The lead officer finally spoke. If we let you stay, you will always be watched. I understand. You will never return to your people. Tara looked at Jack, then said clearly, they were never my people. Not after they left me to die. After a long pause, the officer nodded. Then from this day, you'll be under human military care, assigned to Corporal Rains for supervision. Jack blinked. Wait, she's assigned to me? The officer smirked. You brought her in. She's your responsibility. Jack looked at Tara, a little dazed. She crossed her arms. Is that a problem? He laughed. No, just unexpected. That night, as the station rotated slowly above the Earth-like moon below, they stood together near a viewing window. The stars outside sparkled silently. Tara said, I never thought I'd see stars like this and feel peace. Jack leaned on the rail beside her. I never thought I'd trust someone with fangs and blades. She smiled. You still don't. Fair. They were quiet for a moment. Then, Jack asked, What will you do now? She looked at the reflection of herself in the glass. Scarred, strong, no longer lost. I will protect, she said. This time, by choice. She turned to him. I make this vow, not to your flag, not to your army, but to you. Jack blinked. To me? You saved me. You saw more in me than a weapon. Now I'll return that. I will walk your path. I will watch your back. As long as I breathe. Jack smiled, a little unsure. Does this mean I outrank you now? She smirked. In your dreams. Somewhere out there another war was brewing. But here, in this small corner of peace, a human and a warrior stood side by side, not as enemies, not even as allies, but as something more rare, chosen family.